Why do we cook? We cook for food, for family, and for friends. We cook to bring people together.
Honey, that looks good. Pardon my fork.
Hello and welcome to Pardon My Fork. And with me today in studio, the lovely Cory Ann. Everybody give it up.
Hi, guys. Good to be here.
It's been a real whirlwind the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, lots of live fire cooking, lots of grilling. Of course, I've suffered greatly with all of the delicious food that's been coming out of the smoker.
Yep. Off the smoker, off of the grill.
Which I have nicknamed Smoke and Char.
It's a good name for a good smoker. Built by a good friend of mine, Garrett Bickle, by the way, who I'm thinking he's going to be having his own smoker company here pretty soon, because this is not the first he's built, and it's not going to be the last either.
Not as long as you know him.
No. We were talking about doing some of those, what do you call them? It's like a Christmas tree grill where it's got the 3 of the 4 levels. And we were actually trying to decide, do we want like a steel base for the fire to be on, or do you want the fire to be on the ground and then this thing just kind of, tripods above it? And I'm kind of thinking that you want there to be a coal base, like a steel base for it, right?
Okay, I was thinking it would be great to go over the cowboy grill.
Oh, over the cowboy grill.
Like if you could get long legs and a 3 legs.
Oh, and by cowboy grill, we mean fire pit.
Fire pit, cowboy grill, either one. And then it could be something you could take with you camping. So you have your 3 legs, you have your 3 tiers, and set up with chains, and boom. If you have a campfire, or you have a fire pit in the ground, or you have a cowboy grill, you could just set it up over your fire and grill away.
I like that plan. I don't see anything wrong with that. And especially if you're going to campgrounds that have like built-in fire pits, We stayed at a little cabin with a couple of our other friends near Crater Lake, or excuse me, near Mount St. Helens. And we did something. It wasn't quite that. Actually, it wasn't that at all. We had a fire pit. We had a little bit of fun, just like roasting on a stick over the top of it. But now that I'm thinking about it, I brought the little char griller Acorn Junior, which, man, I love that little grill.
It is the most portable, amazing little grill. It does so much.
What am I going to do when that thing is all rusted out? I need to take better care of it.
Well, it's a little grill that could.
It really is. We don't use it as often as we used to, but we still use it once in a while.
I disagree. We use it once a week.
Do we use it once a week?
Yeah.
Well, I use the trailer smoker 2 times a week.
You don't know how much you grill.
Yeah, that's a good point. I grill and smoke a lot, which, we should spend a little bit of time talking about because we are recording this on a Wednesday. So if you go onto our social media, it's at Pardon My Fork on Facebook or on Instagram. You're going to see photos of the last couple of days. We did tacos on Tuesday, obviously.
Meatloaf on Monday.
The only photo I got of the meatloaf was like one sliver end.
Well, this was a new recipe. It was a cowboy meatloaf.
And we were hungry.
Oh, we were so hungry. It was so good.
And it wasn't done on time. And it was dark when it was done. So I didn't get any photos of it.
We're in Oregon, so it gets dark at like 6.
Yeah.
But it had big chunks of pepper, onion, garlic, and mushrooms.
And jalapenos.
And I love that. So it was almost equal parts of meat and veggies. Yeah.
And it was kind of I wanted to do like a cowboy style meatloaf. So it was that barbecue rub that I've been making for who knows how many years. That was the seasoning that I put in the mix.
And you also added whiskey.
Oh, that's right. And it's the same whiskey that we're drinking tonight, which is the Bullet Frontier 10-year bourbon, which I love personally. This is one of my favorites.
I want to just make a request. Long Branch whiskey that came out with Wild Turkey, and it's the whiskey that Matthew McConaughey made with them. My brother Jeff is a big fan of their Long Branch whiskey, so I'd really like to try that in honor of him. His birthday's this month, so, it's just a good thing. My brother has good taste in whiskey, so I appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, we'll do another bourbon cowboy meatloaf in his honor.
There's a Weller 12 that's a wheated whiskey that he's a big fan of right now. Those are his two favorite daily pours. And I don't think I've had a Weller 12 yet.
We've had the Weller 12 before.
We've had the Weller 12?
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't remember being a super fan of it. I don't think it was bad, but wheated whiskeys generally for me, I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, I'm a fan of wheated whiskeys and ryes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously he is too.
I prefer corn base and bourbons.
Mm-hmm. You know, the Oregon Spirit Distillery out in Bend, they do a bottled and bond wheated whiskey made from all Oregon wheat.
Oh, man. And you know what?
You're going to eat your words because you like that whiskey.
I did. However, there's a caveat here. We bought a barrel from them, and it was one of their wheated whiskey 30-gallon barrels. Mm-hmm. And we poured a little bit out of that was cask strength.
Cask strength and a kick in the pants.
Well, I preferred it, though, over the 40 proof, or the 40%, excuse me.
Yes, it was really good.
Yeah, it was very good. I preferred that bigger punch of flavor personally. But speaking of Oregon Spirit Distillers, October 12th, they're going to be opening their only remaining 10-year barrel of their bourbon. And I don't think I'm going to be able to make it over there to try it because it's quite a drive.
That's a travesty.
I know. I wish we lived a lot closer so that I could try some. But, you know, anybody that can make their way over there, you need to, because that is going to be incredible. But I digress. We started this whole thing with me talking about Taco Tuesday because I was very proud of that because we made this incredible chimichurri.
Oh, so good.
I have not made a lot of chimichurris in my life. Have you, hun?
No, this was our first time making chimichurri. I've had chimichurri 3 or 4 times in the recent past. But it was usually with a beef dish.
Right.
For those that don't know, chimichurri is an Argentinian sauce. It's sort of like a salsa. And every Argentinian mama has her own chimichurri recipe. So it's as varied as the landscape of Argentina. But the basic ingredients are parsley, cilantro, oregano, onions, garlic, chilies, chili pepper, vinegar, oil, salt and pepper.
Mm-hmm. Olive oil, a very robust olive oil.
Very robust. Like they use an Argentinian olive oil. And so it's a little bit different than an Italian or a Spanish olive oil or California olive oil. So use whatever olive oil you love that's local to you if you can get local olive oil.
Right.
Because that really brings your local flavors. They use dried oregano in some places, fresh oregano in others. Some families use a lot of cilantro, little parsley, vice versa, red onion, white onion. Some families choose to marinate their onion in red wine vinegar prior to mixing it in. It's not a puree. It's a more chunkier.
I would call it a fine mince from what I've seen.
Fine mince. Mm-hmm. There you go. Fine minced sauce.
But I think the one universal thing about chimichurri is that no two are the same.
Yes. And the unique thing is that I really like is that, you know, the oregano is a big contrast to Central American and Mexican salsas that I think we're more familiar with in our house. So that oregano, I really like how that brings a good punch. And then, you know, we did a nice spin. Instead of red wine vinegar, which surprisingly we happen to be out of, you chose a sour beer.
Yeah. So we had a little bit of this 2014 New Belgium La Folie, and it's this soured
brown ale.
Brown ale, yes, thank you. Very tart, by the way. Very tart. I had a little bit of a hard time with it at first. Like it took a couple of sips for my palate to get used to it before I could really enjoy it. Let me put it that way.
It has a tart cherry flavor to me, and it just went so well. I mean, you had me try the chimichurri before you told me what you did to it the first time. And I thought it was great. And you're like, okay, because here's a surprise. I did a sour beer instead of red wine vinegar. And I was like, brilliant.
It worked out.
Yeah. And then the second batch we made, we used black garlic.
Oh my gosh, yes. And a huge shout out to Kim Bannock, by the way. She sent us home with some black garlic. And I've never had black garlic before. I didn't even know it was a thing until now we saw it. I remember when she pulled it out.
We've had black garlic rub.
Oh, well, yeah, we had the black garlic rub because the wonderful Kathy Pullen sent us some of her black magic. Love that stuff. And it's made with black garlic. But I'd never just like eaten a clove of black garlic, you know. And so when Kim told me, go ahead and yank that thing open and just pop it in your mouth like a candy.
The umami on that is incredible.
I didn't know what to expect, though. I did not know what to expect. I was very surprised. I was very impressed. Of course, it's very sweet. It's very mild. It has a completely different flavor from garlic for me.
It's like if you slow roasted garlic in olive oil and it got a little bit charred, a little bit darkened, and you got that Maillard effect on it. It was super delicious. But let's be honest. If Kim Bannock hands you something and says, put it in your mouth, you just do it.
That's a good point. The 2017 World Seafood Champion, by the way.
Who we get the pleasure of cooking with this year at the World Food Championship. Super excited.
I think I'm a maybe. I think I'm a backup. You're the primary.
Yeah, I'm one of her sous chefs, and there's another sous chef from Florida, and then you're a backup. And then we're also cooking together with Suzanne Duplantis, our makeover my leftover goddess.
In burger.
In the burger category.
And Kim's husband, Mark, who I love, I'm really looking forward to him getting second place in burger to us in first place.
Ooh, trash talk. Woo, woo. Yeah, Mark is working with the chefs from Bow and Vine. It's a local burger place here close to us. And then you are working with Chris Mask as a sous chef this year.
So that's still maybe. Chris is looking for 2 sous chefs, though. So if anybody listening who's going to the WFC has time and could do the bacon category, Chris Mask, who's an excellent chef, by the way.
And a really nice guy.
Very nice. And you need to check out his show, Off the Chip Wagon. It's a local show from where he's at, but I don't know. You guys might be able to find it out there. I mean, hey, internet TV, you can find anything, right? So, of course, we're revving up for the World Food Championships, and got some exciting stuff going on. By the way, we have a few new sponsors that are helping us I can't tell you how much I appreciate them, and you're going to hear all about them while we're at the World Food Championships. I'll tell you, hon, it has been such a whirlwind, even just leading up to this whole thing. I went and did a Walmart barbecue demo. What was that? A couple weekends ago? Last weekend? No, it wasn't last weekend. It was a couple weekends ago. Yeah. And I made up, of course, pulled pork, coleslaw. We used potato rolls to make these sliders, and they were amazing. We gave out about 200 samples, which really I don't think is bad at all because, people are just walking by. They don't know exactly what's going on. It doesn't hurt to have the smoker rolling and people are walking by going, oh, what is that smell? What do you have going on here, and can I have some? And of course, the answer was yes, please have as much as you'd like. I cook for these demos and these groups the same way that I cook for us at home. I cook like a third as much. A third more than what I need. 50% more. 100% more?
Yeah.
I cook for a small army.
Yes.
Unless you tell me that I'm feeding a small army, and then I'll cook for a medium army.
Yes, because then there's always leftovers to go in the freezer or send home with friends. People don't go hungry in our house.
No, and apparently they don't go hungry at my barbecue demos either.
No. And our classic favorite way to do pulled pork sandwiches is with coleslaw.
Oh, yeah. And it was such a beautiful time. I got everything. Absolutely everything except for the smoker and the wood from Walmart. And I was able to make up these incredible sliders, and they were so good, and everybody had such a good time.
And Walmart is a main sponsor for the World Food Championship.
Yes. I'll tell you, I had some interesting interactions that day when I was at that Walmart. Because, it's in Portland, so you have some interesting people coming by to get free food.
It's not just Portland, it's the Columbia Gorge.
This is true, but there was a lot of Portland going on there.
And, folks don't know, the Columbia Gorge is a little bit different than Portland, which is a little bit different. Okay, it's a lot different than the rest of the state.
Yeah.
There's Portland, and then there's all of Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they call it Portlandia.
No joke, okay? That show is not that far off. Just saying.
But we did get a lot of people coming by and really liking the barbecue. I had a number of people come by and try it several times. By the way, they were like, we tried it coming in. We're trying it coming out.
You had repeat fans at your barbecue stand?
We did. We had a car full of people who actually stopped right in the middle of the drive. Not like pull over. Right in front of the Walmart, just stopped and jumped out. And we're like, are y'all cooking barbecue over here? And we had a real good time talking to them. I think eventually they moved their car, but
one would hope.
Yeah, they all came over and man, we're just chatting it up and eating well. And that was one of my favorite things to have happen. I think one of the moments that really topped that whole event for me was there was a family that came by. It was husband and wife and 4 children. And we only had 3 samples left, I think. And so 2 of the kids and the mom got samples of the pulled pork sandwich. And the mom tried it and she's like, hey, it's okay. It's not great, but it's all right. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. And she said, it's not my pulled pork. Like my pulled pork, it's my specialty. It crushes. Everybody loves it. So
gonna slap her with a potato roll.
No, hey, listen, I'll take, it does not matter to me what you have to say about what you're cooking. It's like everyone feels like their lawn is the best manicured. Okay. We'll just use that metaphor. All right. So she really bragged herself up a lot. And I was like, wow, okay, you really don't like my pulled pork. All right. I get it. Great. Fantastic. But hey, I'm there doing a demo. And so I'm trying to be engaging and it's fine. I'm an adult. I can take it. I might have cried in the corner, but
oh, my poor baby.
No, I joke. I didn't cry in the corner, and here's why. We finished 3 more samples, gave them to the other 2 kids and the husband, and I said, all right, you guys, it was fun talking to you. Have a good one. And about 10 seconds later, they've all walked away, by the way. I hear, holy crap, this is good. And I turn around and I look over, and it's the husband eating the sandwich, and he's like, babe, this is way better than yours. And ooh, she shot him death daggers.
Someone's sleeping on the futon. Well, look, anybody that says their pulled pork is better than yours, bring it. I will totally throw you into the ring with your pulled pork sandwich.
We might have to set up a competition here one of these days.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
One day or another, it's going to happen.
Well, everybody's got that one dish where they're like, my grandma made the best or I made the best, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody has one of those dishes.
What's the dish that you feel like if you were making it, nobody could beat you at?
Turkey.
Turkey?
I think our smoked turkey is really good.
You know what? I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I make an amazing turkey, which listen to last year's Thanksgiving show, and we'll do it again this year, talk about our turkey. We've been working on it for years. I have a recipe down. I don't like to mess with it. It's fabulous.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably be offering turkeys for sale this year, by the way. We're planning on stuffing that smoker. I think we'll be able to fit 4 or 6 turkeys in it.
How many can we fit in the fridge for the brine?
We'll get it worked out.
Uh-huh. Oh, my God. Oh, man. Wow. 4 turkeys. How big are the turkeys going to be? We can't do a normal 20-pound turkey that we always do. We'll have to do 12-pound turkeys. Oh, wow. We're getting sidetracked. So what I've been excited about, the turkey is my dish I would put against anybody. This is my smoked turkey.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very fair. There's a whole other subset where you can take this whole argument, though. The idea of what's the absolute best thing that I can make on a budget. And of course, today we posed that question on the Pardon My Fork Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And man, we got a lot of responses to that.
People were really into it. So the question we posed was, you have $20 and 2 hours to feed 6 people. What are you going to make?
Were you surprised by some of the responses?
Yeah. Yeah. My go-to was spaghetti carbonara, which I feel like you make a fabulous spaghetti carbonara. I love it. I have not had it anywhere else that was better than what you make. But we do thick hickory smoked bacon, our own eggs from our chickens or ducks.
Duck egg carbonaras.
Yeah. Hard
to beat.
Yeah. And, local cheeses if you can, but Pecorino Romano or Parmesan or both would be great. Mm-hmm. Bow tie pasta is a fabulous pasta to soak up the juices, or you could do spaghetti or fettuccine. Mm-hmm. Those are all good.
I do like the bow ties, though. There's something fun about that.
Yeah, it's a fun shape. Mm-hmm. And then, salt and pepper, olive oil. It's a really easy dish, but it's delicious, packed with protein, and it will feed an army.
And you and I took the challenge, too. We both looked up. I pulled up the Walmart grocery online app.
And I pulled up the Safeway.
And my total for carbonara, assuming that you had salt and pepper in the house. But everything else, I mean, garlic, olive oil, the cheese, the pasta, everything came up to less than $15 in my cart.
So at Safeway, it was $20.06.
Well, I mean, that's as close to $20 as you can possibly get.
Yeah. If you buy your own pepper and you get Parmesan and Pecorino, then you're going to be looking at $26. But if you just go basic, $20.
So I wanted to highlight a couple of these that were my favorites. Of course, spaghetti and meatball was a big one. I mean, a lot of people said that. Jen Langdon said chicken medallions with mashed potatoes, green beans, and apple cider cream sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I need to look into that a little bit more. Dirty rice was another big one. Kahlua pork and rice.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to do that because I think you'd be able to get just, I'm not 100% sure what cut of pork, but something that's in the, $1.50 a pound range, or at least in Oregon, that's what it would be. Something like, I don't know, maybe a separated picnic roast, right?
Yeah.
And then just do that in a slow cooker or in a pressure pot with some rice on the side. I think that would be a great way to go. Enchiladas was another one. Do you think you could make enchiladas for $20? Like a whole plate of it?
If everybody just gets 2.
Red beans and rice.
Absolutely.
And of course, whenever people, so like Laura Davis, red beans and rice with smoked pork. But, she's a cook for a living. So, of course, we're going to spice it up a little bit there, right? One thing that I said in that thread was I was surprised nobody had chosen tacos.
Yeah.
Because I do think that tacos are the budget meal that just cannot be beat.
A vegetarian meal, if I was going to pick it, would be stuffed butternut squash. So you could get 2 or 3 butternut squash or acorn squash. You bake them and you could stuff them with wild rice. And wild rice stuffing in my family was wild rice, onion, celery, garlic, and mushrooms. You could put lentils in there too. But either way, how much is a bag of lentils, bag of rice, 1 onion, bulb of garlic, and 3 squash, and you bake it. And then you've got a really nutritious vegetarian meal for under $20. And it, right now it's seasonal. What's in season? Squash. Like we grew kombucha squash that my sister, Jennifer, shout out to her. She went to Orcas Island for her anniversary and they got a local kombucha squash and they only cooked half of it. And she brought the rest on her way back down the coast. And so I saved the seeds, have grown, 20. They're out there in the yard right now. And this is perfect timing for them.
Yep. Oh, and they're so gorgeous.
Yeah, they're big and rich and buttery, meaty squash. And it's a really nutritious food, seasonal food, high in beta carotene, high in vitamin A, lots of good fiber for your digestive system. And if you throw in wild rice and lentils, onions, garlic, celery, those are all going to just fill you full of nutrition and keep the flu bug away, which is going around right now. So don't lick people. I tell patients that all the time at work. People come in, they're like, I'm fighting a flu, or kids are back in school, kids are in college. So you've got all of these concentrated little swarms of humanity and they just breed superbugs. So, don't lick people, sterilize everything. We're
trying to be appetizing here, all right? Getting us back on track. I just wanted to throw out something that Chef Roberto Rose, some weeks back on our Ballin' on a Budget episode.
Yep.
One of the tips that he threw out at me was buy things local but in season. And it's exactly what you were talking about. Buying squash right now. That's not something that you're going to want to try to buy in the springtime, because Lord only knows if you'll even be able to find it.
Well, it's coming from Central America.
But if you are able to buy it locally and in season, then it's cheap. I mean, we've been seeing squash pumpkins for,
under $1 a pound.
Under $1 a pound, 25 cents a pound for some of these big pumpkins. One of the recipes that I've really been wanting to try, and I think you're going to back me up here.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying, baby.
Yeah, that roasted pumpkin. And it was stuffed. It was from an Australian show called Food Safari, and it was the Food Safari Fire. And one of the episodes, they were doing a stuffed pumpkin, and they stuffed it with rice that was cooked al dente, and nuts and some dried fruit. Of course, lots of seasoning.
So it was from an island off the coast of Greece, and it was a New Year's or wedding dish. And they made the al dente rice. They had apples, apricots, raisins. And so they would fill, a third of the pumpkin, and they poured melted butter and honey over it, and then more rice and fruit and melted butter and honey. And they packed this pumpkin all the way to the top. Then they put the top back on, and they just submerged it in a fire pit.
Yeah. They lowered it down into the I don't know what you call it. It's like a tandoor oven. Yeah.
Oh, that looked really good.
I'm just sitting here going, surely we could do that in the smoker or over the fire, or I feel like we'd be able to recreate that without...
Bake it in the smoker.
Yeah, bake it in the smoker, or, maybe reconfigure one of the Ugly Drum smokers and use that.
I think that's a great idea.
Actually, you know what? Now that I say that, that's probably the better way to go.
The other thing that's local right now and that's in season are beets, and it's the end of the tomato season. One of my patients is a farmer, and so I got some great local beets, and I had a beet-tastic weekend a couple weekends ago, and I was really proud of this. I love red velvet cake. Love it, but I do not love all of the red food dye that you have to put in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So I thought, well, okay, beets are red, and I've read a lot of recipes that use beet coloring in various dishes. So I made beet red velvet cookies with homemade marshmallow frosting. So those were delicious, and you have it packed with iron, tons of vitamins, and natural food coloring. And you guys couldn't tell what the secret ingredient was when I served them to you. You just knew it was something.
Well, I mean, I knew it was beets, but I wasn't just going to...
You did not?
Listen,
seriously?
when your wife looks at you and go, I bet you can't guess what the secret ingredient is, you're not going to just be like, oh, it's beets. You got to play along.
Man, I thought I had it.
Hey, doesn't change how delicious it was. They were crazy good.
They were crazy good.
I was really stunned.
And they were super healthy for you. And then I made a tomato beet soup, and it goes surprisingly well. We canned tomato, or we had tomato juice that we had frozen, and they were from tomatoes from the garden. And then we had all of these beets. I had 20 pounds. So I made tomato beet soup, and it was equal parts of tomato sauce and roasted beets. And then we added honey and oregano. That was a unique twist that I wasn't expecting. And it was delicious, but it's just packed with vitamins, and it's a really great way to help keep your immune system healthy as you go into the winter.
Sure, yeah. And it tasted great. It was a little bit sweeter than I would have expected it to be, not in a bad way. And I don't see a downside to it. The beet and tomato soup was, I gotta be honest, if it were a little bit thicker, I'd be wanting to put it over pasta, maybe dip some garlic bread in it. Like, it was very good. It wasn't, I don't know, it didn't have that beet flavor, if beets even really have a flavor that's tangible in that way.
People say it's earthy. My sister's not a huge fan of beets. She just says, oh, they taste like dirt. So I think beets are kind of a polarizing ingredient. You either love them or you hate them. Some people have not had anything other than your traditional red beet, and beets come in a myriad of colors. So I've pickled yellow beets, and they're very mild, and you can do a lot with your flavor profiles in those pickles. But just your red beets are a big, earthy, mineral, heavy root vegetable. If you roast them, it brings out the natural sugars, which is what I did. And that makes them sweeter. And a lot of people like it that way instead of your boiled beets. I also made refrigerator pickled beets with the vacuum sealer.
Yes, those vacuum marinade containers. Oh, I love those things so much.
They're a really, really great tool. If anybody does not have a vacuum sealer for food storage or making quick refrigerator pickles, it needs to go on your Christmas list because that's 12 weeks away.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know what we would do without our food saver. I mean, we use it a lot. The only thing I really want to do with our food saver is...
do more with it?
Well, get the bigger one, because we have the smaller model right now.
That's true, yeah. I made a whole bunch of blue corn tortillas with my friend Miriam and her sister Ellie. And, we could only make the street taco size, the mini ones, with our food saver. So we would just do packs of 12, and I think we did, 150? But we need a bigger food saver if we wanted to do, like, burrito size.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, speaking of, so sorry to roll it so far back, but back to Taco Tuesday. We used some tortillas that I'd never used before. They were the Don Pancho organic yellow corn.
Gluten-free.
Literally, the ingredients are just organic yellow corn masa, water, guar gum, I think, or xanthan gum, salt. Yeah. They were thicker, a little denser.
More chew.
More chew, but not any higher in carbohydrates, surprisingly.
No, and they were good. I think mine were better.
Well, of course.
They were delicious.
I didn't think they were bad. I was actually pretty surprised and impressed.
They've done a good job.
And it's not anything against Don Pancho. I mean, hey, we've all had their white corn tortillas and they're fantastic. But I'd never had their organics line, and I think I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah. I am going to need to do a whole nother batch of homemade tortillas. And I will tell people it is not as complicated. It just is a bit time consuming. So get your best girlfriends or your moms and your aunties together and play
guy friends. We're not sexist here.
Or guy friends that you know that want to make homemade tortillas.
Hey, you get enough bourbon in me, I'll do just about anything.
Yes, you will do anything with bourbon in you.
Hey now, family-friendly show.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. But it was so much fun and it's so rewarding, and the flavor and the texture is worth it. You know, that slower approach to food, the more hands-on approach to food, whole food, local food is great. If you don't have the time or energy or desire to make your own tortillas, Three Sisters in Portland does various stages. You can get the masa straight up, or you can get the tortillas or the tamales ready to go. They do classes, and that's really where Ellie and Miriam get theirs. So I really like that, and I appreciate that. And they were able to bring us a bucket of organic blue corn that we can use for our next batch straight up from home. So if you have any questions about how to make the tortillas from scratch, or the grinder to use or the press to use, just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to answer those questions, but it's worth it.
And we're going to do the next time we do them, because this past time, what was I doing?
Casey Gonzalez was here.
Oh yeah. Chef Casey Gonzalez showed up and we had a nice dinner, had a good time. Wasn't that the day that I was doing the 6 pork shoulders for people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Greg was here. Casey and his wife were here.
My buddy Devin showed up. We were having a good time out by the smoker. You guys were inside doing the tortillas. But the next time you do tortillas, I want to be intimately involved. I want to get some photos, some video. I think our listeners would be really interested in seeing that whole process, because it was not difficult.
No, it's not difficult at all.
No, and it produced an incredibly delicious product.
250 incredibly delicious tortillas.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
That's great. And, we can reuse all of the materials, and it's awesome. It was a totally man-made product. We had a hand crank and a hand press, and, you really get that satisfaction of being intimately involved in how your food is made. And we're still eating off those tortillas. Like Taco Tuesday is just not the same without our homemade tortillas.
No way.
They're delicious.
I didn't pull any out on Monday. That's why we didn't have them on Tuesday. Otherwise, we would have had them. But I was happy to try that.
You made chimichurri tacos. I was super happy. And you did the thighs bone in with the skin, and then chop the skin up right in there with the meat. So you have that good natural fats, crispy skin, which is just great flavor built right in. And you've got the layers of flavor and spice from the chimichurri sauce and the smooth creaminess of the avocado. It was a fabulous meal. I came home from hot yoga, sweaty and hungry, and you fed me tacos. There's no better way. It was amazing.
Hey, that's what we do here. We cook and we know stuff.
I would do almost anything for a taco.
Yeah. You're like Meatloaf in that way. I do anything for tacos, but I won't do that. But nobody knows what that one thing is, because so far you've done anything.
Yeah, we won't go there. And this was Wing Wednesday today. So we still had chimichurri sauce left over. And so we marinated some chicken wings in that, or drumsticks.
It's
an appendage.
Listen, tomato, potato, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
It's an appendage, like you said, okay? So, but I had these drumsticks that were thawed out. And so, I marinated them in the chimichurri sauce that we had made yesterday. Oh, yeah. Oh, crazy good. We made some more chimichurri sauce Tonight, we used less parsley, which I personally prefer. I used more red chili flake, so it made it spicier. I actually used a little bit more of that beer than I did the last time, which I thought was amazing. A little more salt, a little more pepper. We used the fermented black garlic instead of regular garlic. And you know what?
The umami flavor was divine.
It comes through, man. It's
a big punch of garlic, but it has this really nice, smoky, sweet undertone, and then just a depth of flavor that you can't describe other than umami. It's the sixth taste. It's super good.
Yeah, when you said use that black garlic, I was just like, that's genius. Yes.
Yeah, that's super good.
Oh, put those over those drumsticks. Man, I'll tell you what, you guys, I don't know how jealous you get listening to this show, but this food that we are eating, it just, I don't know.
You want to move in. You know it. Just admit it.
It's next level. I don't know what we've been doing recently. Cory Ann has she's been sharing these recipes and she's been telling me, change this, change that. And I've been doing it. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, her palate is just so spot on. It's ridiculous. I don't know how she does it.
Well, I'm hungry a lot. Well, you did the bacon wrapped shrimp with the Thai sauce on it.
That's a fair point. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I mean, who hasn't had bacon wrapped shrimp at an event, a wedding, bar mitzvah, you name it. It's delicious.
But there's a couple different things going on.
I guess you wouldn't have bacon wrapped shrimp at a bar mitzvah.
No, probably not.
No, I take that back. Graduation?
Maybe, sure. Graduation.
I love bacon wrapped shrimp. But then it was Thursday, which I like to do Thai Thursday, little play on English. And so we did the Thai chili sauce on the bacon wrapped shrimp. And I think we all sat there and just devoured like 30.
I'm going to just insert one little thing, though. Half of them were the Thai chili sauce. The other half was a sauce that I made. It was coconut aminos, local wildflower honey, a little bit of onion and garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste. And I mixed that up. I had enough honey in there to where it was still a little thick, and I just brushed that on half of them as they cooked over the live fire, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that on our social media. You can go back a couple of weeks worth of photos and see these bacon wrapped shrimp. I don't know. What did we cook? Like 40 of them?
At least. I think we might have been eating some right off the grill. They were so good. Yeah.
And we did them over the Santa Maria grill. So the flames are, reaching up and kissing these shrimp. And it was a beautiful, it was one of my favorite summer moments.
And we've been dragging the summer out as long as we can. We just started getting cold weather in the mornings and frost here. It's in the 30s in the morning now. And
boo.
I know, it's terrible. And the chickens are molting right now and they look so terrible. I mean, when Big Reuben the rooster, when he gets wet with this rain, he's just this angry redheaded emo child. He just looks so funny. All the chickens are blowing their feathers and growing new feathers. So they've got big, fluffy, beautiful feathers to get them through the winter. But the ducks, they just love the rain. They love it. They're like, look, mud. Let's just play in the mud. Eat the mud. Look for bugs.
It's actually kind of hilarious when it first starts raining because all the chickens are ducking for cover. And then the ducks, pun intended, they all come running out and they're just like, yes, give it to me.
They love it. And they're so funny. Blondie and Dagwood are the newest additions to our duck flock. And Dagwood has definitely assumed a protective role with all the ladies. And it's funny to watch him try and herd his ladies around, and they talk and chat and do their little head bob dance and in the rain, eating mud. They love it. Unless they happen to get out and get into my kale, then I'm not so excited.
Let me tell you something. Dagwood is a big old duck.
He's a big old duck.
If he was not the only male duck that we had, he might be going in some tacos here pretty soon.
He's a big boy, but some of his feathers are kind of funky. But I think he's secretly just only in love with Blondie.
Oh, yeah. No, and we're going back to your children's book now.
Yes, I know. And if you guys don't know, Blondie and Dagwood were some rescues that we took in. A patient of mine was taking care of them for a friend of hers, but she realized, she can't really keep them long-term in her condo. She had them in her garage. So she calls me up one day at the office. She's like, hey, so I have these ducks And we ended up with ducks. It's kind of how it goes. I know.
Listen, you do it and I do it, you know.
I know.
I was the one that brought Reuben home.
You brought Jameson home.
And various chickens and at one point a turkey. So, yeah, no, I get it.
We have a problem. But I want goats.
The goats are coming. The goats are coming. We really want to do the Nigerian dwarf goats because they have the highest buttermilk or butterfat content.
Yeah, and they don't jump very high, so we could put a normal 4-foot fence and they wouldn't leap over it. Whereas if we did a larger breed, we'd need a 6-foot fence that's double layered, secured with
barbed wire over the top and yeah, all that good stuff.
Fence. And they would probably still end up in the neighbor's yard. So we're going to try to go small with our goats.
You know, speaking of, so we've got a few different goat cheeses in there. We've got a raw goat cheddar that's quite good. It's quite sharp and it's a little bit firm and crumbly, but it's got me thinking about tomorrow's Thursday. And you normally like to do some kind of an Asian, Thai something. I love Thai. Or Asian, you know.
Yeah.
What are we thinking for tomorrow? Or yesterday as people listen to this on Friday?
You know, we haven't done a pad thai in a while.
No, we haven't done a pad thai in a while. And you know what I'm thinking now that you say that is I had a lot of fun doing cabbage noodles.
Oh, yeah. Keto?
They're not noodles, obviously, but I cut cabbage in a specific way where it resembles noodles. I'm cutting it lengthwise.
Very thin strips.
Yeah, and you cook it al dente. You just cook it to where it's brought to, I don't know, it's almost even got a little bit of a crunch left to it. So texturally, I don't think it's going to be fooling anybody, but flavor-wise, something that I love. I think we'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. And of course, people, as you are listening to this at home, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember seeing those photos on Pardon My Fork Facebook and at Pardon My Fork on Instagram. Hint, hint, wink, wink. If you haven't gone out and liked those, go and check them out. We got a lot of good stuff going on over there. We're also getting some figs off of our tree, kind of a second batch. They're smaller, but they're heartier, sweeter, like almost denser in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we have a brown turkey fig tree and we always get 2 batches. There's a big summer batch where it's an explosion of figs.
And man, they're massive.
They are huge, the size of a pear. And then we get a later crop that comes out in the end of September, October, and they're smaller and sweeter, but a little more dense texture. They're not as gooey.
I got to figure out what we're going to do with those. I'm kind of feeling like a charcuterie with those, maybe a crumbled goat cheese. So just go with me for a second here, okay? I'm thinking like thin sliced dried pork, like a prosciutto or something, or honey chèvre, quartered figs, and a balsamic drizzle.
You know, we should get some local hazelnuts from down the road. Hazelnuts are growing crazy out here, so I think local hazelnuts would be great. Some
salted and smoked local hazelnuts with that. Okay, so I think I've decided one night this week we need to do a little charcuterie board.
Yeah, go for it, babe. I'll come home from work and you can have it there. I'm so happy.
I will work on that. Well, so as we already said, World Food Championships is just a couple of weeks away. However, the following weekend, the 26th, we are doing, it's something at my cousin's house. He likes to call it Fall Fest. But while we're doing that, we will simultaneously be having the very first Pardon My Fork Pumpkin Spice Day.
I'm so excited.
October 26th. Mark your calendars. We want to see those pumpkin spice photos, the delicious, the bizarre. It doesn't matter. If you see something that catches your eye and you just go, pumpkin spice, what? I want you to take a photo of that. I want you to send it to us in an instant message on the social media. I want you to post it up. I want you to tag us in it. If you see something that is so unique and you just think there's no way they can make that pumpkin spice flavor, but oh yes, they did. I want to see it. And we're going to try to collect up as many of these products as we possibly can.
And make your cousin eat them.
I don't just mean the mainstream ones, by the way. I don't just mean the whipped cream. I don't just mean the pumpkin spice eggnog. Okay. We want to go way, way out of bounds here. Like seriously, the pumpkin spice rib rub is going to happen.
Yes. Crackers, chips, cookies, coffee,
pumpkin spice cheesecake,
moonshine.
Marcotte Distilling, their pumpkin spice moonshine, which by the way, that stuff is good any time of the year.
Pumpkin spice cream cheese with smoked salmon. Is that weird?
Hey, nothing's off of the table.
That's true. No, that's true. Everything's on the table and Koi's eating it.
That's right. That's right. Matter of fact, probably the day we release this, I am going to share out the pumpkin spice in the summer video that Cory and I did. It'll give you a little idea of what exactly we have going on. He tasted pumpkin spice cotton candy, pumpkin spice almond bark, pumpkin spice moonshine, of course, pumpkin spice coffee creamer, pumpkin spice soda.
Which was terrible.
Yes. We're going to have all of that and much, much more. October 26th, so mark your calendars. And again, share. We want to see those odd, unique, delicious, and maybe not quite so much pumpkin spice products.
Please send us all the information. If you have something and you want to mail it to us, message us and we'll give you our mailing address and you can send it to us. If somebody does have pumpkin spice spam, I want it.
I know. I think we might have missed out on the pumpkin spice spam. It went a little bit too quick this year, but we're seeing if we can't work it out.
I'm going to have to start walking the aisles of the natural food section and see what kind of crazy stuff we can come up with.
Look, man, at the end of the day, like if I have to make my own pumpkin spice spam, like a pumpkin spice scrapple, I'll do it.
I think it'd be great. Go for it.
What about a pumpkin spice apple pie? Would that be totally off the wall?
No, I wonder if you could do a pumpkin pie on the bottom and an apple pie on the top.
There's nothing about that sounds appetizing.
Oh, I think it'd be delicious.
Really?
You've got the rich and creamy pumpkin and you've got the tart and spiced apples on top, and maybe do some kind of like a brown sugar crumble in the middle. And then you could do a lattice over the top with your pie crust. It could be amazing, or it could be terrible, but it could be amazing.
Well, those kabuka squash that you grew, I think we're going to have to save one of those out and try doing a pumpkin spice recipe with that.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Good. I bet you somebody's done an apple pumpkin pie.
Probably. We'll take a look into it. And actually here, because we're starting to close the show out, we're going to have a real quick call with Coy to discuss the terms of the Pumpkin Spice Day.
Bring it on.
All right, I got Coy on the line. How are you doing, man?
Hey, Andy. How's it going?
Good, buddy. Our resident pumpkin spice expert. And,
yeah. Life, bro.
We're going to be doing a little combined event here. We're going to be having the Fall Fest at your house, which I always enjoy. And then we're also going to be doing during the day our Pumpkin Spice Day, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for the officially unofficial Pumpkin Spice Day.
Is it officially unofficial or is it unofficially official?
Yeah, officially. It is.
We'll work that out. I think I might need to make like a Facebook event for it, because I really want people to start sending in their photos of just the strange but delicious stuff that they find that's pumpkin spice.
Oh, some of the strange stuff is the best stuff, though, the thing.
Is that what you found in your vast experience with pumpkin spice?
You can be surprised. I got pumpkin spice bagels today, and they were to die for. I would buy them year round.
Really?
Year round.
Are they like super
pumpkin
sticky?
Spice thing going on in the dough, and they got these little nougaty clusters of like nutmeg and brown sugar in it.
Ooh, okay, all right. You bought, what else did you buy recently? You got some English muffins too, right?
I did. They were, I could say I've had it. We can go that far. I'm not going to recommend anybody buys them. Now, the worst pumpkin spice thing I've had of any pumpkin spice thing, I will say, is the pumpkin spice soda.
Oh, yeah, from the pumpkin spice in the summer video.
Yeah, a little bit of pumpkin spice laundry detergent kind of thing going on. And then second worst is pumpkin spice Cheerios. They're just awful.
Did they taste like pumpkin spice Cheerios, or were they just nothing?
They tasted like pumpkin spice cardboard.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're just not good. There's nothing about those that are good. I had to muscle through them.
Because you can't let them go to waste.
No, I don't throw out food. That doesn't happen at my house. But I was wildly disappointed.
Well, what are your normal standbys? Like, what's the thing that you get every year that's pumpkin spice that you just adore?
Oh, pumpkin spice creamer.
Oh, of course,
obviously,
for sure.
With pumpkin spice coffee. I don't have a favorite pumpkin spice coffee. I rotate through all the brands, just whatever's on sale. And pumpkin spice eggnog. Right,
yes.
Because you can't dog on the nog. You know what I'm saying?
All right, it's a little late when we're recording this. That probably just struck a funny bone a little harder than it should have, but wow, you can't dog the nog. Okay. What about pumpkin spice whipped cream?
Pumpkin spice whipped cream, yeah, I do always get that. It's kind of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, guilty pleasure. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. We were thinking about what different ways we can use pumpkin spice in recipes, and Cory Ann's looking at me, and she's like, "Yeah, she's got a few ideas. We're going to talk about it when we're done here on the phone." But yeah, the pumpkin spice rib rub, I think that's going to have to happen. I've been talking about that for a while. I've been wondering how pumpkin spice pulled pork would be.
I wonder if we could do like a pumpkin spice bacon.
Oh, I know we could. We could for sure.
Somebody's done it. Has to been done. I have seen pumpkin spice sausage. I have not ate it, but I've seen it.
The pumpkin spice Spam, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a can of that or not, but I am working on it.
I checked today, and I couldn't find any.
Have you ever had it before?
I haven't. I'm not really a big Spam guy, just in general.
Well, that's not the point of Pumpkin Spice Day.
Yeah, I realize that, but I'm sure that it's going to be awful.
It's probably not going to be terrific, but I'm interested in trying it. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, no, I know where Spam falls just as Spam, just unflavored. And then adding pumpkin spice, even if it did make it better, it's not going to make it tenfold better. It's just going to make it slightly better, which is still below a 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
And there's a pretty good chance pumpkin spicing Spam will make it worse.
Well, but there are a few things that I really would like to try cooking, because we're going to be doing an all-day cook. Like, we're smoking all the meat for the Fall Fest, but we're going to be spending the day around the smoker and bringing the trailer smoker, and we're just going to be cooking, live fire grilling, all that good stuff. And there are I want to hammer out a few recipes that we're going to cook during the day and actually eat. Now, I actually want it to be good. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of trying to think about, could we do maybe like a pumpkin spice rice with a little bit of going back to the sausage, maybe a little sausage mixed in there, or a little bit of smoked chicken or something like that. What do you think about a pumpkin spice seasoning on chicken, or is it going to need a more robust flavor like the pork? Or should we be going with a bison or something maybe?
Pork, honestly, something a little fatty.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you're going to need that fat content to carry the brown sugar and nutmeg kind of thing going on.
Okay, well, what if we did some pumpkin spice pork belly burn ends?
I don't know if there's anything you can put on a pork belly burn end that makes it worse.
That's a good point. Well, we're fitting to find out.
It's just going to be delicious. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to put Starburst in here. Like, oh, that's interesting. It's still delicious. I think we'll start out with some pumpkin spice pancakes.
Ooh, maybe a little bit of that pumpkin spice whipped cream we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. You can do that. You can do the syrup. We got some pumpkin butter that we make usually. It works out good on that.
What's in the pumpkin butter?
My wife makes it, and I'm wildly uncertain.
All right, fair.
She does a lot of canning, and it's kind of a version of like honey butter, kind of a whipped butter, and she does like a pumpkin pie filling. And she'll can it. The thing is with pumpkins, when you can like pumpkin pie filling, you have to be real careful. It doesn't keep a really long time. So you kind of have to go through it quickly.
Got it.
Which is not a huge problem at my house.
I was going to say, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Probably going to have to make some like pumpkin cookies, maybe with like a cream cheese filling.
We'll do a pumpkin cheesecake.
Pumpkin cheesecake. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, pumpkin spice cheesecake for sure.
The entrees, though, man, that's kind of where I'm sitting here thinking, okay, we're going to have to get creative with this pumpkin spice, because literally, I just want to get a big jar of pumpkin spice. You get me?
No, I've actually looked at it at the store. Just giant jars of pumpkin spice seasoning.
And I think that a little bit needs to go in everything that we eat that day.
So I saw some pumpkin spice donuts, like old-fashioned type. I'm wondering if we can just do your regular pulled pork, and we do like what's it called, the Suzy Q burger, you know? Where it uses a glazed donut bun, and it's usually like a pulled pork.
I think we can do that. I think we can. You were talking about maybe doing the pumpkin spice day after Thanksgiving, and I'm rushing it a little bit by doing it October 26th, but do you think it's really going to impact it too much, us doing it before Thanksgiving?
5 years ago, I would have said yes, but now Actually, I think we're actually already getting into the height of pumpkin spice seasoning.
Oh, we might even be a little too late then.
The way it's going, like I was buying pumpkin spice stuff early single digit September.
Wow. Okay. So we might not be on the forefront of this fad, but definitely using the spice for, barbecue rubs and stuff. That's going to be new.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen a pumpkin spice barbecue yet. So if you can pull it off, I think you'll have a number one winner.
Number one, because we're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to lose when it's only you,
That's right. They hate us because they hate us.
Exactly.
Well, Coy, I love it, man. I can't wait. It's going to be a real good time, and I hope you listeners at home are looking forward to it as well. Coy, once again, thanks so much, man. We'll be talking to you again soon.
All right, Andy. You have a good one.
And there he goes, and there you have it.
Pumpkin Spice Day at Fall Fest. It's going to be awesome.
He sounds excited.
Hey, I better be excited. It's going to be awesome. How can you go wrong? And it's his favorite flavor, pumpkin spice. He's a big, burly construction guy that has a thing for cinnamon and nutmeg.
Listen, realistically, like we all do, if you remove the pumpkin from the equation, what is there not to like? It's cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, cardamom sometimes. And
pumpkin. It's delicious.
Yeah, but like aside from the pumpkin, there's nothing wrong with just strictly the pumpkin spice. It's a good base spice mix for just about anything holiday.
So pumpkin spice rub, I think I would probably take out the garlic, but the rest of your rub I would go with smoked paprika, salt and pepper, brown sugar.
Not the celery salt.
No celery salt. Good point.
Yeah, but onion, yeah, heavy on the brown sugar. They're gonna end up being sweet and sticky ribs, I'm sure.
Oh. Say more things like that. That's going to be delicious. I'll have to sample 4 of them. Undoubtedly.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, pumpkin spice corn on the cob.
Yeah, we could do that.
Pumpkin spice bacon Brussels sprouts.
Would
you pumpkin spice the bacon or would you pumpkin spice the Brussels sprouts? That's a question. To all our chefs out there, give us your thoughts. Pumpkin spice Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, only time will tell.
Yeah, because, the brassica family does really well with nutmeg. So I wonder.
I kind of hate to leave it there, but we are running out of time. So I encourage any chefs that are listening to this, any foodies, if you have any experience with this, reach out to us. We want to hear about your pumpkin spice adventures, and we want to hear what you think about, what we might be able to use pumpkin spice, just the spice mix in. Because, that's a good point. We've got some ideas here. I think we're going to play on this and get back to you guys. There's definitely going to be some recipe trials. There's definitely going to be some tasting. And, I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are too, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Cory Ann, thanks so much for being here.
It's been a good time.
It's always fun to talk to you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. We don't take donations. We don't have a Patreon here. We don't have a tip jar set up or anything like that. And really, it's because it's the word of mouth that fuels us. So the best thing that you can do for us, the thing that would help us the most, is just to share. If you have someone that that you feel like would like this show and you want them to hear it, spread the good word, share it out, and help us. So thank you in advance for that. Big thank you to Coy for coming on and talking to us for a few minutes. And for Coy and Cory Ann, this is Andy, and we will see you next time.